which are the High Elves, the Empire, which are humans, and the Dwarves. That's my slide. So basically the way that this is laid out, if this is the entire world of Warhammer, Dark Elves and High Elves are kind of paired together, fighting each other. Chaos and the Empire, same thing. Dwarves and Orcs, same thing. So where we're at right now in development is we're working through the Dwarfs and Orcs and their conflict together. The way that we're doing this is kind of an example of a Dwarf and Orc pairing. If the brown zones you can kind of consider Dwarven zones. The green zones you can consider Orc zones. These zones can be adventured in by either side. They're actually joined together so that from the very beginning, in zone number 1, you're in conflict in some manner with the enemy race. Now you may not actually be fighting them in PvP, but you'll definitely be seeing them. You'll be doing things counter to what they're trying to do, and kind of working against them. Yeah. Exactly.
You build the bridge, the other ones want to...
Exactly.
Bridge, yeah.
Very good. So this is kind of an example of what a zone might look like. The red is representative of an RVR area. Each and every zone in our game is integrated PvE and RVR. The green areas are PvE areas. So I might be here on this side of the river fighting a monster. I can look to the other side and I can see players fighting other players on the other side of the river. So
can they attack me then?
No.
No? It's completely
separated. It's completely separated out, but I always have the opportunity to go over there and fight if I want to. The beauty of our game is if I choose to never RVR, I can PvE our game. We have a fully functional PvE system, and I can PvE the entirety of the game. If, on the other hand, I hate PvE and I want to RVR the entirety of the game, I absolutely can do that.
What about experience?
Experience can be gained in both PvE and RVR. Loot can be gained in both PvE and RVR. Gold can be gained in both PvE and RVR. It is truly an integrated game and an integrated experience. However you choose to play the game is the way you can play the game.
If you say loot is also in RVR, how does that work out? I mean, I just got some nice stuff on me and I get killed.
Absolutely.
So I lose.
No,
gold
never,
and
never, never,
my
never.
Epic X.
Never, never, never. So, we never take away anything. You cannot loot other players on the feet of the giant. The giant is his friend. So these squigs are chasing the giant around and nipping at his feet. So your job is to kill 20 of these. Other players in the same area have exactly the same quest. And I mean exactly. As other players kill the squigs, it updates your quest. As you kill the squigs, it updates their quest. You share it. You can be if you want, but you don't have to be. Anybody in the area gets it. And when the quest completes, you all share in the reward. This is the fundamental building block of our public quest system. On top of that, we can stack layers of public quests. So if I complete kill 20 squigs, there's a next step. Now you need to gather 20 barrels of beer for the giant because he's tired and thirsty from running from the squigs. Gather 20 barrels of beer and give them to the giant to quench his thirst. And so we can build multiple layers on these public quests, and then when you finish all of them, you can recycle to start over again. So this is kind of an ongoing way for us to help build community in an area, make people work together, and also to constantly give you something to do within the game, so that as you're walking around the world, you never ask the question, well, what should I do? You always have the choice of, oh, I should do this.
Yeah, but when I come into that area later, and all the people are already on the follow-up, I will have to start from the first one.
No,
so
you'll be on the follow-up too. Everybody's on the same step all the time.
That means when I come into that area later, and the first part has already been done, there's a quest reward. Do I get that as well?
You don't get the first part quest reward. Okay. You'll get the second part quest reward. Exactly. Okay?
Yeah, okay, good.
Complex. So anybody should be able to come into our game and just play and just have a good time. yet we also want players who are a little more advanced to feel challenged. So there are 3 levels to our combat system that help us to kind of enhance, to take advantage of that concept. The first thing is simply the action bar. So the action bar is simply your hotbar, just like any other MMO. We chose to very carefully design this so that what we call the morale system. So morale is something that is gained from doing well in combat. And if you look, morale is represented by this blue bar that is slowly rising over the top of your character. Morale is gained in combat when you kill things, when you're doing well. Morale is lost when you're out of combat or you do poorly. As you gain morale, you unlock morale abilities. These morale abilities are large abilities. You can see he just threw up his fists. So these are large abilities that can be damage abilities, they can be heals, they can be group abilities, they can be anything we want them to be. So you have to choose, as morale goes up, do I want to use an ability or do I want to save it? Because when you use an ability, it spends your morale. As you gain morale, the abilities become more and more powerful as you move up. Morale also builds more and more slowly. So the longer you try to save it, the harder it is to gain. Morale is also gained by being in groups. So as you're in a group with another player, morale gets trickled from you to me and from me to you. So as you do well, I do better. As I do well, you do better. So the highest level morale abilities are really probably going to be used in large groups or in big raids or in huge PvP, that kind of thing. So we don't want morale abilities to be one-shot kills or anything like that. We want them to be big and look cool and do lots of interesting things.